The Sunsoft is Back retro game collection. To give background to Sunsoft back in the days of yore, this company was well known for an assortment of classic NES titles like Mr. Gimmick, Blaster Master, Batman, and some classic Kusoge like Iki and Atlantis no Nazo. Today we're presented with none of those games, at least quite yet. Instead, we have free once Japan-only Famicom titles now translated and made into one snazzy little package. The collection itself is a great presentation, filled with plenty of retro charm. There's a host of goodies such as 3D models of the cartridges, manuals, and game illustrations. I like what I see here. The display options are serviceable with some limited customization and visual filters. Save, load, and rewind functions are present in each game and work fine to be expected. As for complaints, there doesn't seem to be any button customization available, so you're stuck with the standard layout for each game. Another gripe is that the Famicom manuals are available in this collection but are untranslated. This becomes an issue explaining details and mechanics of each game going through, so if you get stuck, you might want to pull up a resource online. So as for the titles themselves, what can we really say about them? Alright, for the first game on the list, we have Firework Thrower Kintaro's 53 Stations of Tokaido. In feudal Japan, a fireworks maker named Kintaro wishes to return to his beloved fiancée Momoko-chan. Unfortunately, others aren't so sympathetic to his plight as he travels along the Tokaido Trail. Luckily, you're strapped. Kintaro is armed with his bombs as he makes a mad dash towards the end of the level, and you're going to need them. You have limited lives and no continues, and one hit means death, so you have to think fast. There's going to be all sorts of ninjas, border patrol, thieves, ghosts, and even prostitutes all in your way, and they are absolutely relentless. Now you can find all sorts of items on your journey, like coins, amulets, and other strange power-ups upon throwing your bombs around, so start blasting. You can use the items as bribes against certain enemies and obstacles, and other times new routes are only available with the right items, so that's worth knowing. Just be careful not to stick around in one spot or leave yourself defenseless throwing your bombs at the wrong time, as it's really easy to do. The game itself is very kooky and pretty fun, even if the controls are a bit slippery and rather special at times. Precision platforming is sometimes required on really tight platforms, and falling off of high places can really make you drop like a rock. It's sometimes inconvenient, but it is very consistent to learn and get used to all the little things. The game itself has simple but endearing graphics and a great soundtrack to boot. I don't want to get it twisted, this game can be very cheap and frustrating, but on most end, I had a lot of fun with this. The next title on the list is the Wings of Madoola. This title was reminiscent of early side-scroller action RPG titles, something like Athena or maybe Rygar. This game is sort of an early Metroidvania, if you'd like to use that term. The story here is the magical warrior Lucia is on a quest to defeat the evil wizard Daltos, whom is using the ancient artifact, the Wings of Madoola, for creating an evil army of monsters. Now, I'd like to say that this game has a lot of cute aesthetics and a pleasant soundtrack, but it quickly gets bogged down fast. This is a quick look, and on first impressions, it's not the most friendly. On that basis, I think it's safe to say that more people playing this title will just hit a hard wall for one reason or another. Lucia starts off very weak, and enemies are not only abundant, they also respawn very fast while taking a lot of hits. In order to stand a chance, Lucia must defeat several bosses while collecting special items to gain better strength, speed, magic, and different weapons. You have a game that quickly ramps up in difficulty and gets more complicated as levels grow more expansive in design. Save states won't even help you if you have to backtrack levels missing important items. Should you lose all lives, press start and select held together and it'll allow you to continue on your game, otherwise it's game over. Secondly, and more importantly, this will allow you to access previously completed levels to pick back those critically important items for your run. Honestly, without knowing that, you're not going to get very far. Now, the last title on the list is Ripple Island. It's definitely a unique one of the bunch as it's an adventure title. For comparison, think Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom on the NES. This title is a real treat for the genre and stands out against the other side-scrollers of this collection. Here you play as Kyle, a young man set to defeat the evil wizard of the once peaceful Ripple Island. A lot of evil wizards in this collection, ain't there? This particular wizard has ruined the island in various ways and has even kidnapped the king's daughter. Kyle and later on your companion Kel attempt to solve various problems on the island and meet several interesting inhabitants along the way. You have a series of commands to discover, interact, and mess around with various characters and locations. Pixel hunting and backtracking should be expected. Certain puzzles are not always immediately apparent and can be a bit of a challenge to figure out what to exactly do along the game's 5 chapters/areas. You are rewarded, however, with an endearing atmosphere and something really interesting to play through with up to 4 different endings. There's little more for me to actually say. This is a really good game, all things considered, and without going into spoilers, it's a unique gem. Overall, this collection is pretty good and I would recommend it with an asterisk. This collection is small and strange with its curated titles, but at $10, it's got good niche appeal going for it. What would you guys like to see next on the channel? I'll be reviewing a few games every so often. Stay tuned at Suppository Repository. Loopy Bun signing out.